Hello and welcome back to my studio. Now, do you like to paint trees? If you're a landscape painter, then trees are so important. I'm going to share with you a couple of tips that is going to help your trees look better and improve your landscape painting. Stick around and enjoy this tutorial. Now, painting trees is simply one of the essential skills we all need if we're going to tackle a landscape painting. We have to look at trees, we have to interpret them, we have to put them on the painting, and they need to look good. They must be convincing. But we have an artistic license, and that is our secret weapon. We have to use that to make sure our trees in our paintings are looking the best they can. So I'm going to share a couple of important tips, maybe ones that you don't really think about when you're painting trees, and incorporating this is just going to give you something extra in your next landscape painting. So let's begin. Tip number one is avoid a symmetry of lines. We've got trees lined up like this. Bring one forward, like I'm doing here, widen the trunk a bit, another one, another step forward. Now you can see the arrangement is a lot more pleasing. Adjust the foliage to correspond with the position of the trees as well. And now you've got a nice variety and a pleasing arrangement. Second tip is move trees to improve the view. You are the artist and you make the decisions. So if you've got a row of trees, like perhaps an avenue of trees, move a few closer to the other, change the height of the trees, and you can even remove some of the trees. Now you're getting a more interesting spacing and a compositional viewpoint or path for the eye to follow. But there's still this tree over here, simply not helping the composition, so get rid of it. And now you've got a nice looking composition. What about a heavy mass of trees? That we frequently see this. We've got a whole thick mass like this. Well, a good thing is to just lighten up an edge or two of the trees. Add some soft broken color elements like this to break up the silhouette. Make another one bigger and you get it already starting to look a bit better. I'm going to add a smaller tree on the right to balance out that mass. Horizon line in, and we've got a nice pleasing arrangement. You can go further, bring in a few highlights, adjust the tree trunks, add a little more texture and color. Perhaps suggest a few twigs and a couple of impasto touches. Much better. Also cut in with the sky color or a background color. Could be a building showing through in the background, or as I said, the sky or some hills. That also will help to lighten up the heavy mass and it doesn't get too overbearing. Bit of light and texture on the foreground tree trunk and you've got an interesting composition. I'm going to put some of these to practice in this little oil painting sketch. Here I've got a heavy mass of trees. I'm just softening up with some airy touches. Now observe the nature of the trees. On the right here I've got a eucalyptus tree which I've got a lot of sky holes in it. So try and be faithful to the feeling of the trees as well. Variety in texture and tree trunks. Let the brush roll. Just drag the brush as well to get broken color. Lost and found marks help to make more interesting tree trunks and twigs when you need them. Texture is what a tree trunk has, so try and suggest that with thicker or dry paint and drag that along to scumble it. And then letting a few buildings show through here, that brings a light and airiness to the mass of trees. And when you get to the end, you can bring in those impasto lights like I'm doing here to finish things off and get a more pleasing painting overall. Well, I hope those few tips are going to give you something extra to try it in your next landscape painting. Remember, keep working on the natural look of your paintings, but make changes where necessary. You are the conductor of your own painting. Don't worry about what anyone else is going to think. Improve your painting, and the views and appreciation for your work will develop naturally. Don't forget, I've got a free lesson for you here, something a little different, all about color harmony. Check it out, and then don't forget, of course, subscribe. If you haven't already, why not do that right now? Subscribe, hit notifications, and you won't miss the next video. Until next time, happy painting.